Some of you didn't expect God to write your story like this. You expected the right person to come in a way that looked instantly acceptable, something you could announce without questions, without sidees, without whispers. But instead, peace found you in a form people don't immediately understand. And now you're living in that tension where your spirit feels settled, yet the outside world feels loud. If that's you, breathe. You're not losing your mind. You're experiencing what happens when heaven aligns something that society loves to label. Angels say, God wants you to build a marriage with someone younger and He will defend it. Stay close and subscribe now. Not as a casual button, but as a decision for consistency, because this kind of message isn't meant to be heard once and forgotten. It's meant to steady you again when opinions rise, when fear tries to talk, when you're tempted to shrink your joy just to make other people comfortable. Staying connected keeps your discernment sharp and your spirit anchored. And that matters more than you think when you're building something that will be tested. Now listen gently, because I want to speak to the real-life weight you've been carrying. People don't just judge the age difference, they judge you. They treat you like you can't recognize character. They speak like you're being used. Or like you're confused, or like you're settling, as if your heart has no wisdom. And what makes it heavier is this: most of the people talking don't know the private fruit. They don't know how this person treats you when no one is watching. They don't know the consistency. They don't know the respect. They don't know how your nervous system relaxes around them, how you can finally breathe instead of brace. They only see what's easy to measure on. They ignore what actually matters. Heaven doesn't lead with numbers. Heaven leads with nature. Heaven doesn't choose by how it looks in public. Heaven confirms by what it produces in private. So, when angels say God wants you to build a marriage with someone younger, it's not telling you to ignore wisdom. It's telling you to stop letting people reduce your entire future to one detail. Age is a detail. Character is the foundation. And God does not build your life on a detail. He builds your life on a foundation. Let's be responsible while we're being spiritual. This message is not romanticizing every younger person. Younger does not automatically mean mature, and older does not automatically mean safe. This is not permission to ignore red flags. This is clarity for the person who is seeing real fruit in her, stability, growth, responsibility, and is being pressured by noise. Both people must be adults. Both people must be safe. Both people must be free. Heaven does not endorse imbalance, manipulation, control, or secrecy that breeds shame. If anything in your connection requires you to betray your values, hide in guilt, or tolerate disrespect, that is not God defending you, that is you surviving something you should have questioned earlier. So we keep the standard high here, fruit first, always. Now let's talk about what God sees that people miss. God sees readiness as a spirit, not a birthday. God sees discipline. God sees humility. God sees emotional maturity. God sees whether someone can be corrected without becoming cruel. God sees whether they have self-control. God sees whether they build or consume. God sees whether they are drawn to your heart or drawn to convenience. God sees whether they protect your dignity or treat you like a secret. People don't always see that. They see a number and assume a story. And because they assume a story, they start pushing you to doubt your own discernment. They try to make you feel like peace is suspicious, like stability is boring, like respect is temporary. And if you've been hurt before, those words can land deep. Because trauma teaches the mind to treat love like danger. When you've lived through inconsistency, your brain learns to scan for threats. It starts expecting the shift. It starts waiting for the real them to show up. And then, even when you're finally receiving something steady, you still feel a little braced. That bracing can make you interpret the age gap like a warning sign when it might simply be a difference that requires wisdom, not fear. So here's the center of this word. God will defend what he aligned. But you have to understand what defend means, because many people misunderstand it. God defending doesn't always mean nobody will talk. People talk even when nothing is wrong. People talk because they don't understand. People talk because your story triggers their insecurity. People talk because your peace exposes what they tolerated. God defending doesn't always mean silence around you. God defending often means stability within you. It means the relationship keeps producing fruit even under pressure. It means what is real remains. It means truth becomes undeniable over time. God defends aligned love in ways that don't require you to argue with anyone. First, he defends it through repeating fruit. Not one emotional weekend, not one romantic moment. Repeating fruit, respect that stays consistent, effort that stays present, accountability that shows up when mistakes happen, clarity that increases, peace that grows. When fruit repeats, the noise loses power, because evidence speaks louder than opinions. Second, he defends it through time. Time is one of God's loudest defenders. Time exposes games. Time reveals intentions. Time proves maturity. If someone is younger, but truly spouse level, time won't make them fated, will make them steadier. Time will reveal whether they are here to build or just here for a season. Third, he defends it through peace that increases, not panic that increases. A gut-led connection may be tested, but it will not be toxic. It will refine you, not drain you. It will mature you, not manipulate you. If every month you feel more confused, more anxious, more hidden, more pressured, that is not a test, that's a pattern. But if peace increases over time, even when outsiders don't approve, that's fruit. Fourth, he defends it through protection. Protection looks like doors closing to what threatens you. Certain distractions get exposed. Certain temptations lose power. Certain friendships that only feed gossip lose access. Certain patterns you used to repeat don't work anymore, not as punishment, as covering. Fifth, he defends it through favor. Favor looks like grace to communicate well, grace to repair, grace to build routines, grace to handle pressure without destroying the connection. Favor doesn't make things perfect, makes building possible without breaking your peace. Now, here's where you must be very honest with yourself. If God is defending it, you cannot build it with insecurity. Insecurity will make you overfunction. It will make you carry everything just to feel safe. It will make you start paying for everything, planning everything, initiating everything, forgiving everything, fixing everything, because you're secretly afraid that if you stop, the relationship will collapse. That is not covenant. That is you trying to purchase security with labor, and that kind of love becomes resentment. So if you are the older person in this connection, hear this with tenderness. You do not need to carry an adult to keep them. A spouse is a partner, not a project. If God wants you to build marriage with someone younger, they still must be a builder. They must show initiative. They must show structure. They must show discipline. They must show accountability. They must show growth. God is not calling you to raise someone. He is calling you to build with someone. And if you are the younger person listening, serious about someone older, hear this clearly. Your patterns will speak louder than anyone's doubts. Not your words, your consistency, your stability, your responsibility, your emotional maturity, your ability to honor boundaries, your willingness to communicate clearly, your capacity to repair. That's what removes suspicion without you arguing. That's what makes fruit undeniable. Now let's get practical, because marriage-minded messages must come with structure. A lot of people feel connection and assume that means covenant. But covenant requires foundation. You cannot build a marriage on vibes. You build marriage on aligned values, mature communication, mutual effort, and shared direction. And if there is an age gap, it becomes even more important to make sure spirit match becomes life match. So what does building correctly look like here? It looks like verifying maturity, not assuming it. It looks like checking responsibility, not trusting charm. It looks like watching consistency, not believing intensity. It looks like requiring contribution, not carrying everything. It looks like having the conversations serious people don't avoid. Here are the conversations that defend your future. What are your values and your non-negotiables? What is your faith foundation and how do you live it? How do you handle money and responsibility? What does commitment mean to you in practice? What are your boundaries with friends, attention, and distractions? How do you handle conflict? Do you repair or do you disappear? What is your timeline for marriage if we continue building? What kind of home do you want to create? What does loyalty look like when temptation shows up? How do you respond to correction? Do you grow or do you get defensive? These questions are not pressure, they are protection. They don't destroy alignment, they reveal alignment. Someone who is truly a spouse level will respect clarity. They might be challenged by it, but they will not punish you for it. They will not mock you for it. They will not avoid you for it. They will rise to it. Now, let's talk about the outside voices, because this is where many people lose peace. Some of you are dealing with family pressure. You love your family, but you already know how they'll talk. You already know they'll bring up the age difference like it's the whole story. And because you want approval, you start shrinking. You start delaying. You start acting uncertain. But listen, family. Opinion is not a marriage foundation. You can honor your family without handing them authority over your destiny. You can respect elders without letting them rule your home before it's even built. Marriage requires boundaries. Not rude boundaries, clear boundaries. Because marriage is not just to people loving each other. Marriage is to people protecting a home from outside interference. So if God is truly leading this, He will teach you a skill you need anyway: selective access. Not everyone gets details. Not everyone gets updates. Not everyone gets to comment on your process. Privacy is not shame. Privacy is protection. Seeds don't grow well under constant touching. They need time and a safe environment. And I need you to hear this. You don't need to fight everyone to prove your love. You don't need to win arguments. You need to win consistency. You don't need to convince the crowd. You need to protect the covenant. You don't need to perform. You need to build. Now, some of you have been asking quietly, why would God choose someone younger for me? Sometimes God does it to heal your definition of love. Some of you only trusted love when it was heavy, when it hurt, when it kept you guessing, when it forced you to chase. So God sends a different kind of person, sometimes younger but mature, to break your addiction to chaos and prove that love can be calm and still be deep. Sometimes God does it to break your pattern. You kept choosing what looked acceptable and it still drained you. You kept choosing what impressed people and it still disappointed you privately. So God chooses alignment over appearance, fruit over formula. Sometimes God does it to grow your backbone. Covenant requires the ability to stand on peace even when misunderstood. Not arrogant steadiness, quiet confidence. The kind of maturity that doesn't need applause to keep building. And yes, sometimes God does it because the younger person has a spirit that is ready. Younger in age, older in wisdom, younger in years, strong in character, younger in timeline, clear in intention. God can see that. People may not. Now, let's address the fear that creeps in. What if people are right? What if this won't last? What if they change? What if I'm embarrassed? Those thoughts can feel like caution, but caution without evidence turns into sabotage. Wisdom observes fruit. Wisdom sets standards. Wisdom requires consistency. Wisdom communicates clearly. Wisdom doesn't panic. Fear panics. Fear rushes. Fear accuses. Fear withdraws. Fear tries to protect pride by destroying possibility. So here's your standard from today. You will not rush to prove anything, and you will not retreat to protect pride. You will move with calm intention. You will keep your boundaries firm and your heart honest. You will require maturity and watch. Fruit over time, because covenant is built by steady character, not public approval. And when you live like that, something powerful happens. The relationship starts defending itself. Not with arguments, with patterns. Respect keeps repeating. Effort keeps showing up. Integrity keeps speaking. Peace keeps increasing. And even critics eventually run out of questions, because consistency is a language everyone understands. Now, listen closely, because pressure doesn't only come from comments. Pressure comes through timing, through family access, through public visibility, through moments when you're tempted to either overexpose the connection or overprotect it until it can't breathe. That's where many people get it wrong. They either give everyone too much access, or they become so guarded that love feels like a war zone. There is a wiser way to protect what God is building without becoming harsh, without becoming secretive, without becoming controlled by fear. There is a wiser way to protect what God is building without becoming harsh, without becoming secretive, without becoming controlled by fear. Because real protection is not aggression. Real protection is structure. Real protection is to people choosing maturity before pressure forces decisions. And this is where God's defense becomes visible. He will not only defend the relationship from outside voices, He will teach you how to guard a future home before it's even fully built. Most people try to protect love with arguments. God protects love with wisdom, with boundaries, with timing, with fruit, with peace that keeps increasing. So let's talk about the exact moment many people ruin something aligned, the moment they feel watched. You start sensing that people are paying attention. You start hearing little comments. You notice the energy shift, and suddenly you feel like you have to manage everyone's opinion. That's when people either overexpose the relationship to prove it, or they overprotect it until the relationship can't breathe. Both extremes damage love. Overexposure makes the relationship public too early, and now every disagreement becomes a headline. Every delay becomes a rumor. Every normal human moment becomes a topic for people who don't build your life. Overprotection turns into emotional distance. You become cold. You stop communicating. You start acting like love is dangerous. You keep your partner at arm's length so you don't feel vulnerable. But you can't build marriage with someone you keep treating like a risk you're trying to escape. So here is the balance. Build privately, not shamefully. Guard the seed, not the person. Protect the covenant, not your ego. Keep your dignity without turning love into a war zone. Now, let's address the real-life pressure that hits hardest: family and community voices. Some of you are carrying this heavy thought. What if they never accept it? And that fear is making you hesitate, hide, or sabotage. Listen carefully. You can respect family and still lead your life. You can honor elders and still obey peace. You can love people and still refuse their control. Approval is a gift, but it is not a foundation. Covenant is built by the two people inside it, not by the crowd outside it. So what do you do when family judgment shows up? You don't argue your way into acceptance. You don't beg for validation. You don't keep offering explanations to people committed to misunderstanding you. You do something stronger. You let fruit speak. Fruit looks like consistent respect. Fruit looks like visible responsibility. Fruit looks like stable effort. Fruit looks like patience. Fruit looks like honor. Fruit looks like peace increasing over time. People can argue with your words, but they struggle to argue with consistent patterns. And if they still choose to judge after fruit becomes clear, that reveals something important. The problem was never your relationship, it was their mindset. Now, I need to say this gently because it heals a lot of people. Some voices around you are not concerned. They're threatened. They liked you in a certain place, predictable, controllable, small, always explaining yourself, always seeking permission. But now you're building something that doesn't need their approval, and that independence challenges them. So they call it wisdom while they're actually trying to keep authority over your choices. Love doesn't require you to stay small to keep peace with others. Real peace comes when you stop letting guilt be your compass. This is why God says He will defend it. Sometimes God defends by removing access. You start noticing certain people don't get the same closeness anymore. Some conversations feel off. Certain friends suddenly become disrespectful. Certain family members keep trying to pull information. And God uses that to teach you. Not everyone is safe to hold your seed. Not everyone deserves details. So, here's one of the strongest protections you can apply immediately. Stop giving everyone a microphone. Your relationship doesn't need an audience. It needs a foundation. Now, let's talk about what defended marriage building looks like practically when the partner is younger. Because the world will try to paint it like the older person must always lead everything, and the younger person must always be learning. That's not marriage. That's imbalance. If God is calling you to build a marriage with someone younger, He is still calling you to build partnership, not parenting. Which means both people must demonstrate spouse-level behavior, shared responsibility, not one-sided carrying, mutual effort, not one person begging for attention, consistent communication, not guessing games, accountability, not excuses, boundaries, honored, not pressured, emotional stability, not manipulation, growth mindset, not stubborn pride. And this is where you must be clear. Age difference cannot become a power gap. If one person controls money, decisions, pace, access, and emotional temperature, you don't have a partnership, you have dependency. God does not bless dependency, disguised as romance. So you build in a way that protects balance. You talk about roles before resentment appears. You talk about money before it becomes conflict. You talk about boundaries before jealousy becomes a habit. You talk about communication before silence becomes punishment. You talk about family access before outside voices enter your home. This is what it means to build marriage with wisdom instead of vibes. Now, I want to speak directly to the older listener again, because your biggest temptation is often silent, overfunctioning. Overfunctioning is when you do too much because you're trying to secure the relationship. You carry the plans. You carry the finances. You carry the emotional labor. You carry the responsibility. And you call it love, but it becomes leverage. Not because you're evil, because you're afraid. But fear-based love always produces exhaustion. God's defense includes teaching you to require what you deserve. You don't buy loyalty. You don't rescue commitment. You don't parent a spouse. You expect partnership. You watch contribution. You watch initiative. You watch stability. You watch discipline. You watch whether they build when nobody is watching. And to the younger listener who is serious, your defense is consistency. People will assume you're playing until your patterns prove you're not. So be stable, be responsible, be accountable. Show up when it's inconvenient. Honor boundaries without complaining. Protect the older partner's dignity, name, and peace. Lead yourself. Handle your obligations. Have direction beyond romance. A spouse isn't proven by passion. A lone spouse is proven by reliability. Now, let's address something spiritual, but very real. When God aligns something, the first battlefield is often your mind. Not because the relationship is wrong, because the relationship is new, and your old experiences try to rewrite it. Your mind may keep saying, "What if this fails?" Because you've seen things fail. Your mind may keep saying, "What if they change?" Because you've watched people change. But God's defense includes giving you a new way to think. And this is how you stop fear from sabotaging what God is building. You replace panic with process. Here is the process. You don't decide the future based on one emotional moment. You evaluate patterns. You don't respond to rumors. You respond to reality. You don't let outside voices become inside tension. You don't speed up to prove anything. You don't slow down out of shame. You build steadily. And building steadily means you put structure in place that keeps your relationship healthy even when people don't approve. That structure includes clear communication, habits weekly, check-ins, honest conversations, no silent punishment. Clear boundaries, what's private stays private, who gets access, what's unacceptable. Clear expectations, effort, financial responsibility, time, respect, loyalty, clear direction, where you're heading, how you'll handle obstacles, how you'll grow. And if you want a marriage that survives outside pressure, you practice those things before marriage. Because pressure doesn't wait until the wedding day. Pressure shows up during the building stage. Now, there's a question some of you are scared to ask. If God will defend it, why does it still feel hard sometimes? Because defense does not mean no resistance. Defense means resistance won't destroy it. A defended relationship still gets tested, but it doesn't get corrupted. It still faces opinions, but it doesn't lose peace. It still experiences growth moments, but it doesn't spiral into cycles. It still has disagreements, but it repairs. It still has delays, but it stays honest. That's defense. And here's the sign you're being defended. You keep returning to clarity. You keep returning to peace. You keep returning to fruit. Even when noise tries to drag you into doubt, something in you refuses to panic the way you used to. That's God strengthening your backbone. Now let me give you a real life reflection that might hit home. Some of you have had relationships that looked perfect to the public but hurt you privately. The right age, the right appearance, the right pairing. People approved that you were crying at night. You were praying for basic respect. You were carrying emotional weight alone. You were living in confusion behind a smile. So don't let anyone convince you that public approval equals private peace. Society can clap for something that is killing you. Heaven would rather give you peace people don't understand than applause that hides pain. That's why angels are speaking this. God wants you to build marriage with someone younger. He will defend it. Because God is not trying to impress spectators. God is building a home. And a home must be built on truth. So here's what you stop doing today. Stop apologizing for peace. Stop shrinking your joy to avoid gossip. Stop over-explaining your choices. Stop giving details to people who only criticize. Stop letting fear make you overfunction. Stop treating love like something you must prove. Stop treating opinions like evidence. And here's what you start doing. Start watching fruit like a wise builder. Start requiring partnership. Start protecting your environment. Start communicating clearly. Start building with patience. Start choosing steady over dramatic. Start choosing covenant mindset over crowd mindset. Because when you build like that, you won't need to fight for your relationship to be respected. Time and fruit will do the talking. Now, before we close, I want to speak a quiet strength into you. If this is God aligned, you will not lose it because someone talked. You will not lose it because someone judged. You will not lose it because the age difference made people uncomfortable. What you protect with wisdom will grow with favor. What you build with standards will stand under pressure. What you steward with maturity will outlast noise. And if the relationship is not aligned, the same process will reveal it. Too, because time and fruit never lie. Either way, you win. You gain clarity, and you keep your dignity. Now, here's your closing decision. You don't build your future on fear. You build your future on fruit. You don't obey pressure. You obey peace. You don't chase approval. You choose covenant. Subscribe now seriously, because staying connected to messages like this is not a small thing. It's protection for your mind. It's maintenance for your discernment. It's how you stop repeating cycles when the next wave of commentary comes. Like this, so it reaches someone who has been silently shrinking their joy because of judgment. Comment: I will build with wisdom, and let that be your line in the sand. Share this with a person who is about to walk away from a respectful, stable connection just to avoid being talked about. God is not building your life for spectators. He is building your life for peace in what He aligns. He will defend,